Jorge del Rio Vera, and I work as a Scientific Affairs Officer in the United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs. I coordinate the Access to Space for All initiative. I do appreciate the opportunity to present about the initiative and KiboCube, and I would like to thank UNISEC-Global for the opportunity to present here. Thank you. Access to Space for All is built around a simple idea. Space should be accessible to all, and it does not necessarily begin with the launch. It begins much earlier with skills, knowledge, infrastructure, and partnerships. That's why the Access to Space for All initiative is organized around three main tracks. The first track is hypergravity and microgravity. It creates a gradual learning path for teams to learn how to design and conduct experiments in different gravity environments, starting with more accessible opportunities and progressing towards increasingly complex platforms, including orbital opportunities. The second is satellite development, where the objective is to build capacity across the satellite life cycle for very early hands-on activities through satellite development and deployment to actual operations in orbit. And the third track that you can see down in the screen on the right, it's space exploration. It broadens participation in exploration activities through opportunities such as the provision of telescopes. We are trying to create more opportunities beyond Earth orbit. The tracks themselves are only part of the model. Across all three, in each track, we combine three different components: hands-on opportunities, education component, and tools component. And this is important because offering an opportunity by itself is not enough. If we simply say, here there is a chance to fly an experiment, or here there is a chance to deploy a satellite, we may reach only those teams that already have the knowledge, experiences, or resources to compete. Our aim is different. We want to create gradual learning paths so that a university, an institution where a team is interested in space can enter at the level that is appropriate for them, build experience, and progressively move forward. Education provides the knowledge through webinars, training, curricula. We have also fellowships, and we have academies and teaching materials, teaching guides. The tool component, it's a collection of open source tools that are helping design, calculation, analysis, and planning of the space mission. And then the hands-on component gives the teams the opportunity to apply those capabilities in a real project. So the ambition is not simply to access an opportunity. It is a journey from opportunity to capability, and ultimately from opportunity to orbit. Let me briefly show what that looks like in practice. In the satellite development track, we have already a strong pipeline. We have hosted payloads that are offered in partnership with NVRIC from the United Arab Emirates, where we have 2 hosted payloads in orbit, 2 more in the making, and we are going to open a new opportunity in Q3. Concerning satellites, we have KiboCube in partnership with JAXA. There have been already 6 satellites launched. There are 4 satellites in the making. One of the satellites that has been launched is still flying. KiboCube is a little bit easier than deploying from a rocket because the environment is more benign. It's less harsh than in a rocket. And the next level would be to launch with a rocket. And that's why we have Exopod in partnership with Exolaunch, and there are 4 satellites in the making currently. We also have fellowships, the program Nanosatellite Technologies, where we will be selecting 3 masters and 3 PhD candidates in early January. And the applications will open in Q3, Q4 this year, so stay tuned. We also have opportunities with space stations, Chinese space station, and with Airbus to offer a slot in the International Space Station. But it's not only that, we are offering also ground-based opportunities. We have ISOSCOM, where we are providing telescopes in partnership with Keldy's Institute of Applied Mathematics. We have drop tests to run experiments in microgravity conditions in partnership with SARM and DLR. hyperjets to run experiments on Earth in hypergravity conditions in partnership with the European Space Agency. We have KiboRPC, which is a robotic programming challenge in cooperation with JAXA, and that's currently open. So go and have a look to the Access to Space for All webpage, and you will find all the information if you're interested. And we also have KiboCube Academy, which is providing a set of lectures thanks to JAXA, where UNISEC-Global professors are covering basically in all those online lectures the topics needed for CubeSat development. Taken together, these activities show the logic of the initiative. There is no single entry point, but targeted capabilities are the destination. Different countries and institutions can start in different places, but each activity helps to build the next layer of capability. Let me focus now on KiboCube and its impact. It's very clear utilizing KiboCube an example, and you will have more presentations today on that. Nowadays, JAXA does not only provide the launch opportunity, there are also excellent JAXA engineers with an incredible dedication that accompany the teams through the whole development journey. It is really an honor and a pleasure to work with them in KiboCube. KiboCube has generated a lot of impact, but the impact of KiboCube really depends on the effort of the team. If a team is contracting part of the work and not very much involved, it will be a missed opportunity, because convincing a government to launch a second satellite will be more difficult. It is responsible of the teams that are selected to ensure that there is a vision that goes beyond the satellite, what is going to remain afterwards, and how it can be used to create more momentum. I mean, those are the questions you have to be asking yourself. KiboCube is giving us some very concrete examples of that impact. There you have in the slide the 6 satellites that have been deployed into orbit so far. And we, for example, have Mauritius. The deployment of Mirsat-1, the first satellite of the country, became something very visible at national level. It was even commemorated through stamps and envelopes. This might look like a small detail, but it represents something much larger: public awareness, national pride, and a sense that space is not something happening somewhere else. Mauritius is actually working in developing a space ecosystem. We are trying to support Mauritius as much as we can in the office. We see the same effect in infrastructure. Ground stations developed around these projects are tangible capabilities that remain after the mission and can support future education and future activities. It is important to have a plan for that infrastructure. In Guatemala, students built Quetzal-1, the country's first satellite. Again, the impact was not only the spacecraft, it was the team that learned how to build it, the knowledge they accumulated, and the students and institutions they could inspire afterwards. It was the foundations of something bigger. Now they are building a bigger satellite. There is a conference on space in Central America that is organized in Guatemala, and the university has partnered with other institutions for other space missions. We also see that the knowledge was captured and transferred. The Quetzal-1 team documented experience in a book, turning one mission into a resource for the teams that come next. And perhaps one of the strongest examples is regulatory impact. During Quetzal-1, the team had to engage with Guatemala's Telecommunication Authority on satellite frequency allocation. That process contributed to resolving a legal gap for low Earth orbit satellite frequencies in Guatemala. And the result was not only a solution for Quetzal-1. It created a clearer path for any institution in Guatemala wishing to operate satellites in the future. That's the kind of multiplier effect we are looking for. I left out many examples like Kenya, whose first satellite launch through KiboCube contributed to the establishment of Kenyan Space Agency, and there are many others. A successful KiboCube activity should leave more than a mission behind. It should leave trained people, stronger institutions, infrastructure, educational resources, partnerships, and sometimes even changes in the national enabling environment. Otherwise, it is just a one-time wonder, which might even make more difficult for others coming after to develop space projects, because that magic of being the first is not there anymore. Through Access Space for All, we try to build gradual learning paths so excitement is created step by step, creating a solid foundation. That's how access becomes sustainable. EvoQ does offer a fantastic opportunity to deploy a satellite, and our wish is that the wonderful opportunity that is provided together with JAXA is used to building lasting space capacity.